It's going to be Northwood University versus St. Clair College for our first matchup of the day. It's Call of Duty.
A couple of weeks with MW2 out, it can be a challenge to want to get back on an old title and really grind it out. So we'll see if we put in that time, and I think that'll show early on, but here on screen for you, just having a look at, our roadmap of where we'll be headed. We're guaranteed map 5, duking it out. If you're St. Clair Saints, you are trying to take down the all-encompassing titan of Northwood University. And if you're Northwood, you're trying to make a new name for yourself with a new roster, losing your star-studded players. So we'll see who can come out on top, but this P1 break, going to play Scrappy to start.
Yeah, Pink's just going to sit on back, but it's going to be Bendy who opens things up for the side of St. Clair. Nate over the top, unfortunately, won't be able to go out just yet, but it's been a nice little opening break here for Northwood as they've gotten themselves the first 10 seconds here on P1. K-Top with the MP40 looking to march forward, maybe play out towards those P2 spawns, but at least for the time being, it's a nice little opening here from Northwood that's going to put them up about 20, and it's going to continue to climb.
Having spawns for that right side is going to be so important as P2 looks to pop. And sure, if you're St. Clair, you're garnering most of this time, and you're going to take that. But again, you want to push through and get those spawns here off the break. I mean, they're going to get 30, 40 seconds off of this if it's all said and done, and if Northwood can't contest, which it definitely is going to make Northwood have to answer earlier on with a solid P2 hold. You don't want to give a break early beyond that. But 3 players for St. Clair already making that rotation, and it's going to be K-Top Ben finding the kill early.
Bendy down the staircase. Nice little kill here in towards the top of radio. Looks down over and towards that P2 hill. A fresh 60 seconds of time here available for the side of St. Clair to be able to ingest upon themselves. 10 seconds of time come through, but it's really the break that we're going to be looking here for Northwood as they start to go ahead around through this backside. Making this push in is going to be the single-handed most important thing, and you can see this kind of snake sarcophagus starting to push around this hill. Here comes the pinch in. Infinite going to be the first one through the back lines. 2 players go down for both of these 2 teams. Unfortunately, you won't be able to get the movement around the corner, so that will leave the side of St. Clair still in control of the hill for the time being, but it is going to be those close spawns all the way in the back that are going to make this just a little bit more difficult to deal with.
And you're holding on for the time being. If you are Northwood, you got in and got the break and only give up about 20 seconds for, but Priestley's going to get in and find 3 huge kills to get them what is a substantial amount of scrap time, right? About 15 to 20 seconds of time. It's going to put them really close here and already flying around on rotation. You have a players filling a couple of lanes. Sure, you get chopped down, but at least that pressure will be there for Northwood. They're not going to get as clean of a setup as they would like, but again, if you're Northwood, they'll take whatever they can get. They're so used to playing in positions like this where they can just put together whatever they need, and they find 2 kills on transition as the hill pops. Now, pressure on St. Clair to find a way to get an opening, find a soft spot, and get into this hill.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I forgot to mention this at the start of the hard point. If you are looking at the top of the screen, the names are flipped around, so we do apologize for that. But, again, we'll make it as smooth and as seamless transition as humanly possible. Seno, kill there on the Infinite. Dak will fall in the background as well. This is giving the side of Northwood a bit of trouble here as they start to make this push on forward. And as Brandon has found his way in towards the hill, it's just going to be a pinstripe kill feed here in towards the back of the Fountain Hill by P3. Very, very closely contested hill. This has been so far, Cash, but for the most part in this game, it's pretty much fallen in the way that we thought it was going to this far forward. Northwood seems to have that first step ahead pretty much everywhere they go.
That's exactly what I was going to say for St. Clair. What we need to see out of them is we've seen them get broken early on, and we've seen them unable to break into a hill where the time is worthwhile. So they need to find a way, if they're winning the rotation, to get a hold here, lock down a bit of time, and find a way to get an early break where Northwood have this rotation to P4. They need an early break. The back 30 isn't going to do it at this point because you just have any kind of deficit. Going 30 for 30 is not good enough. We need to see a big play. We need to see a big break out of them.
Well, inside of the church, this can be a money hill, especially for a team that is going to be SMG heavy. And Asino is trying to find his way on forward. It's going to be the side of Northwood who's able to hold on here towards the bottom of the church. And you can see those spawns all the way out over towards P1 on the portion of that mini-map. And that was those green arrows. We're just going to hold down here inside of the hill. Brandon trying to make a push all the way through the back line. It just won't be enough. Unfortunately, it's just shut down yet again. So everything right now that St. Clair is trying to throw at Northwood on this hill just isn't enough. And I just hope that this isn't going to be a continuous trend on these money hills, these very close quarter hills, because if it is, you know, Tuscan is a close quarter map, and that can just completely devastate your entire game plan.
It really can. Now a 70-point lead garnered for the side of Northwood, and once again winning rotations. I mean, for the side of St. Clair, they haven't looked comfortable on this map. They haven't gotten a clean break to really get themselves going here. They've found a few kills in succession, but again, until you can find a way to shut down players like K-Top on a 4 streak, sitting at 15 and 8, it's definitely going to be hard fights to get into these hills here. And it just seems like for Northwood, they are ready at every turn. It seems like you don't get a clean lane for the side of St. Clair to even get a look at a hill. Finally, you'll get in with 40 seconds left, but you know that another break is going to be coming.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, if you're Brandon there, you're lucky that you're able to get away with K-Top falling and you're yourself being able to push back in towards the hill. You know, that's best case scenario. You shut down the opportunity for streaks as well on the side of Northwood. So for now, you can breathe a little bit easier, but you are down by over double the points that you have currently for yourselves at the moment. So Cash, you know, we talk about it all the time. That 200-point mark is that scary point that you don't want to allow your opponent to get past. Right now, Northwood's quite clearly very much on their way.
They're cruising for certain, and now for St. Clair, the question is, can you get an early break on P1 while maintaining right side of the spawn map control? It is something where for St. Clair, we've seen them do it time and time again. You're playing against the best respawn team in the game, so it is going to be a challenge, but we need to see it's that point of the game where we've got to start to see some of that multitasking, right? Can you fight for P1 and get a substantial amount of time, as well as find a way to hold on to the map control that you need in order to get yourself back in this game? They are out of it by any means. A good hold would get them here, but P1 is definitely not a great one you want to start with.
Absolutely not, but Bink going to toss a nade over towards that right side. Got a couple players playing the head glitches, and it's Priestley who goes ahead and pops himself a nice double. Great entry kill is going to allow the side of St. Clair to get a little opening towards that P1 hill, and as you have player number 5, Nintendo just trying to hold himself hostage here and towards the point, you've got 4 players from St. Clair, or excuse me, Northwood, who have just spawned up and are now starting to surround this player. Nae's going to be out from both teams, trying to force each other back. K-Top going to be the aggressor yet again, gets that first kill, and allows everybody else to be able to find themselves forward, so as Infinite and Dak have now found themselves another 2 kills, at least for the time being. St. Clair will be able to hold on to the scraps, but this is that kind of desperation move where you have to make the decision of, hey, do we want to go for the scraps here, or do we want to allow the other team to get out there?
St. Clair going to try to fill a couple of lanes, mainly on that top side of the map, getting in through Church and trying to work their way around to get a break on P2, but the setup's so clean from Northwood. The map spread that they have, they trust their players to win their 1v1s where they need to, and you have Bink with an AR running around Church, which is a little uncommon, but hey, it's getting the job done for now. No one able to get close. The push coming in through top radio, but the comms way too clean for the side of Northwood. They're in such good positioning that, again, a green kill feed is all we have seen here, and it is more than go time for the side of St. Clair if they want to try to rally back.
Seno, team kill, unfortunate there onto Priestley. That's going to, at least for the time being, slow that push down that St. Clair would have been had to get into P2. Tons of time to earn here, but now as you're past that 200-point mark, and you still have that 100-point advantage, if you are Northwood, you have been in the driver's seat throughout the entire game, but now you are in the closing stages of this first hard point. The opportunity to get yourselves that first win in a best-of-9 series, at least right now it doesn't seem like all that much, but as we get deeper into it, especially talking about the hard point versus the S&D comparison, Cash, this means the world for Northwood to be able to take the first map.
It really does, and it adds pressure to St. Clair. Sure, St. Clair is what we're looking at for them in their S&D, but again, this hardpoint performance to start is definitely one that they're just going to try to forget and move on in the rest of the series. There's still plenty of time left for them to get back in it, but that time is very quickly dwindling. As for the side of Northwood, you just need 35 or so seconds. Sure, you have some control if you are St. Clair now, but again, some control is not going to be good enough. You're going to need full control of the hill at some point here, and this collapse quickly coming in for the side of Northwood.
Yeah, and this is your pick and choose moment, right? If you are Northwood, you know, you have a lot of time to play with here. You don't have to necessarily throw everything in the kitchen sink into making sure you lock down this hill. They're doing a great job of being able to do so, but you still do have Bendy with the automaton all the way back in towards that spawn side of the hill, so you know, that is going to cause a bit of a ruckus, but you know, you can get these kills if you are the side of St. Clair. Northwood is still racking up the hill time, and they forced you all the way into your spawn side throughout the entirety of it, and now we're going to have free rotations towards the opposite side of the map. So sure, you might have fought for those spawns, you might have had the spawns for yourself, but it didn't equate to hill time, and that's something we've seen time and time again here from St. Clair.
And Bink winning that gunfight in the back. He has one more if he's ready for it. You know, this could really decide the game for them, but you have 3 players in the hill for Northwood. 20 seconds left, ticking off the clock. These gunfights have to simply be won by St. Clair.
Last 15 seconds. Northwood trying to close it out. Dak, first kill there around the corner on Seno. Brandon in the top of the Church, trying to hold off this initial push here from the Northwood roster. Dak, another double kill. It's going to be good for him, but is it going to be enough for Northwood to be able to close this game out? Just 10 more seconds. Bendy in the back line. Infinite's going to put him down like a sick dog, and now with just 4 seconds left here in the game remaining, it's going to be that 250 to 128 scoreline to finish and wrap up this Tuscan hardpoint.
More so looking at the scoreboard, what stands out to me is how balanced that slaying approach is. I mean, just as far as keeping, you know, them mentally in check, and then Seno, I'm looking to have a takeover S&D here to really get some win back in this player sales.
Pretty little S&D here on Bacage. Map number 2 underway. Northwood on the left, St. Clair going to be on the right side of your screen. Infinite going to be the first one here pushed up. On my grandma's right past the barn there. Bomb in the hand of Bink at the bottom of the staircase, at least for the moment. There's Bendy. He's looking around all the way on top of the Dak. Dak is going to get some great information that a player is towards the top of Grandma's. Set at the top, this is what St. Clair loves to do. They love to play passive here on the defensive side. It's exactly what they've shown here at the beginning. Nobody from Northwood wanting to show any sort of face just yet, though.
And I love the position that Brandon is in. It's passive, but again, you have your mid-map cross covered. Player does slip in. There's noise going to be made. He's going to get it. Dak's going to ring out for the first blood. Going to see shots fired back, but you do win the first blood if you are Northwood. Now the aggression, now you're in A. It's a matter of working around that. One more pick would be great. All four players are pulling through mid-map. Brandon finds the kill and gets the trade, but it's the quick swing over to B that I don't think St. Clair are going to be ready for.
Yeah, this is hard from Priestley, too. You want to be able to trade that out, but you give away your positioning for free. So now it's a 3 versus 2, and now a 1 versus 3. Bendy, the last one alive here. He's all the way towards the backside of his spawn. That's just a difficult round to win if you are St. Clair. Northwood plays slow, steady. They're able to win that first pick here all the way over towards that A building. They wrap back over towards B, and again, unfortunately, it just came down almost to Priestley not being able to conserve himself. The trigger discipline just wasn't there. Couldn't walk away with the kill, and what could have easily equalized into a 2v2 and maybe even prevented the bomb from going down. Unfortunately, he isn't able to win the gunfight, and it doesn't go his way.
You get an early offense on the board if you're Northwood for St. Clair. We're going to see what you have in the bag of tricks for because search and destroy. I mean, out of Northwood, they baited out the defense to pull over towards that A side, made a quick transition back over to B, and by then it was just a little too late. Here, all out aggression towards the A side mid-map.
Seno helps out Brandon, is able to find the first blood, but just as quickly as the first kill goes their way, they're automatically just traded out in the other way. So Bendy, once again, in another 1 versus 3 situation, isn't able to find the second player, and Northwood steamrolls back-to-back rounds. A quick, very quick defensive round there from the side of Northwood counters the aggression that St. Clair had. You know, that's not exactly what I thought we'd see out of St. Clair, but it works.
It is something that for Northwood you were able to just take advantage of through aggression, right? It was that first blood that got traded out, but again, all of their players sit so close together and play in such proximity that the next 2 or 3 kills came in such an onslaught that for St. Clair, by the time the dust settles, you have 1 player left in a 1v3 situation. So it's definitely something for St. Clair already. You lose a round where you win the first blood. Here, it's just more so that mid-round and finding and not dropping those kills in succession, right? Finding the first blood is great. Don't drop 2 in return for it. So we'll see what adjustment they make here, but it's a little more aggressive. It's a little more stacked over on this A site.
First blood not off the table just yet. Infinite tries to back off in towards the bottom of the barn. The destructible barrier is proving to be insufficient for himself. Bendy and Priestley going to go ahead and open the round here for St. Clair. So finally, what is going to be a consistent glimpse of hope here for St. Clair on their way to potentially what might be their first round win. Bink on 4 kills in a row, though, could have an answer for what would be a 1 versus 3 here. If he's able to get 2 more kills, at least you'll have the fighter pilot to work with. Unfortunately, you know, as Vanguard has went, that's really not of any use anymore. But as he finds that first kill there's a high possibility that he might be able to take this round away here. Very split out across the map. Bomb down over and towards the bottom of the barn. He's in a precarious spot, but again, if there's anybody that can do it on this Northwood roster, it would be Bink.
There are no bombs down for the side of St. Clair. He finds the first kill to snap the staircase. Ooh. I thought for a second.
That was an Eagle Chow if I've ever seen one.
Second that he could have walked away with that one. But hey, for St. Clair, it was quite the messy. It was a 3v1. You get it done at the end of the day. It doesn't matter who's left up. And again, Seno sitting at 2-2. Nothing crazy, but just you can tell the way he's moving around the map, the way he's playing, feeling a bit more comfortable here in the search and destroy. They get a good round win on the board. We'd like to see them kind of get that momentum continuing on and going more and more as the series goes on. But for Northwood, sitting in a good position, of course, behind Bink at 6-2. That's definitely something that it feels good going into this round number 4.
Well, Brandon going to be the one carrying the bomb here, out towards the middle of the map. Nade out. Set nade going to be at least there for the black car, but unfortunately it's Bendy who gets picked off directly off the rip. So another Northwood first blood here on the Bacage. 20 seconds have ticked off the clock. Bomb recuperated, but it's still a 3 versus 4, and this is kind of the hole that we didn't want St. Clair to get into in the first place. It's, you know, you're down a man, and now Northwood can just post up and play defensive.
Priestley gonna fire some shots at the top grandmas. Nothing's gonna stick, and you just don't have information on where these players are. And would you look at that, Bink and Infinite already wrapping through the back? They're gonna be shooting players back here momentarily. Brandon does snap to 1, but Infinite is able to quickly trade it out. And you have 2 players in the back lines. You're basically pinched here, trying to work towards this ace site. I don't see this boding well for them unless they find 1 more pick, but I think now they know someone's in the back.
They know somebody's in the back. They don't know that the player's in the media position to be able to trade that anyways. Bink uses the head glitch to his favor. Automaton in hand, going to be able to walk away from it. And as K-Top finds that kill as well, it's another Northwood University round where they just play slow, steady, grab that first blood for themselves, and then work the map throughout afterwards. And you know, Cash, I guess the kind of thing I want to talk about here for the set of Northwood is something that St. Clair really hasn't had or really showed here in the S&D so far. It's the availability to find trades no matter where on the map you are.
That is the bigger problem. They've shown that they can get some first bloods on the board, but the trading in the mid map, or excuse me, in the mid game is just not there for them. Two are going down in succession, and that puts you from a 4v3 to a 2v3, and now all of a sudden you lost your main advantage in a matter of one sequence of events. So for me in St. Clair, it's surviving this mid game a little bit longer. They haven't even been alive long enough to get the bomb down at either site, so they have to find a way to stay up, get the objective in the mix as well, and that's surviving that mid round onslaught. I thought the first bloods were going to mean more than they do. It's more so this mid-game and how that plays out.
Oh, and if you're Priestley, you have to call out that Dak is in your back line there, because Bendy just gets completely read out on the back tank, and that shuts down everything that they had for the defensive hold. So now you allow Infinite in towards the top of Grandma's, and now everything has turned on its head here if you're St. Clair, because you're just cooped up into a hole. So now they can start pushing out. Door's going to open. Infinite gets the read on the player, shuts down Brandon, and once again, you're in the same situation you've been in all game, fighting from behind, 2 versus 3, Northwood the man advantage.
And for St. Clair, they just look lost. I mean, completely candid. It's just people are slipping the line before they're even, you know, having the recognition of it. Comms don't appear to be as clean as they could be at times. Sinnoh finds a great one to make it a 2v2, but bomb is down, and you've got to work quickly. They have an idea that you're on this bottom side of the map. Priestley is going to be the one to open things up if he can get eyes on players here. Sinnoh's got to find a way to stay up, and unfortunately just can't.
Priestley, last one alive, 25 seconds to work both of these 2 kills onto the Northwood players and get the defuse as well. If you're new to Call of Duty, it takes 7.5 seconds to get that full defuse here if you are the team that's trying to push back over towards the site. Priestley starting to make his way forward. Unfortunately, just has no clue or any idea where these players are, and the worst timing comes through. Pistol shots out of Northwood, and this train just continues to roll forward. The steam is not stopped. There's no sign of breaks in sight either. St. Clair needs to find an answer, and unfortunately it's going to have to come from slaying, and that's not something that you can just teach in a round.
And I would love to, you know, say some magic sequence of if St. Clair does X, you know, Y will happen.
Sure.
And for them, it's just, you know, a lack of execution, sure, on strategies and things. And that's not to take away from how well Northwood is executing on the opposite side, right? They have earned the rounds that they have won, of course. But for St. Clair, with this being their given mode, sitting down 4-1 in map 2, already being down 1 map in the after the hard point, for St. Clair, you've got to find a way to stop playing so one-dimensional. Throw a different look at Northwood. Get them to switch up their pacing. Don't just sit and take what they're throwing at you. Find a way to put some pressure on them. Even if it ends up costing you rounds as a whole, make them think about someone hitting a route. Make them think about something like that. And, well, K-Top, nothing but headshots on the mind for him.
He's already on 5 in a row again. Streaks continuing to build up for Northwood. And this just continues to be the problem. You're putting yourselves in a position where you want to get aggressive. You want to find round wins. And the only way to do that is to kickstart with a catalyst. What's that catalyst? Get aggressive and try to find a first blood. You haven't been able to do that all game, and you continuously walk into a position where you're traded immediately after the fact. Look at where Northwood plays on the map. Their spread is always 2-2, but if they play anything where it's a 3-1, the one person that's spread out on the map has the availability for somebody to rotate quickly and pick up that second player for a trade. That is something that St. Clair do not have, and they never are looking for that second player to hit, ever. They're never turning for another gunfight.
Well, they've got 1 round here if Northwood takes it to be ready and try to make the adaptation. They would have to win 5 straight to take it themselves, but match point, I mean, the way that Northwood have come out here in map number 2, quite the stunner for St. Clair College. I mean, again, kills sure are a problem, I guess. Bink is sitting at 9-3, K-Top at 7-1, but it's just so flat, like you were saying. There's no second loker making reads for what Northwood is doing, and now Northwood's sitting back for a second, seeing if they can bait some aggression out of St. Clair, and you can't finish that kill, and that just feels like how this map 2 has gone for you.
And you know, you try to cook the nade to try and finish off Infinite, who was already weak up on the tank, and you start getting shot from Bink, who was already in the top of the barn. So you have 2 players who have lines of sight on you. You just throw the nade wide and completely waste the utility in the process. So now it's K-Top who's on 5 in a row. Brandon hears the audio cue from the left. Stun check is going to be there, so you have information on where that player might be. Infinite pushes forward, pounces on the Sinnoh, traded out instantaneously. Finally, for the first time, it seems like St. Clair has found out how to trade the player from Northwood, but it's a little too late. You're still down 1-5. It's a 3 versus 2. You have the man advantage, but Dak and Infinite are playing together, and you pick off Priestley, who's all the way in your pack line. So now, both of these players completely split across the map. It could be an artificial pinch play that comes in here, but you have to be very careful, because if Northwood is able to get out of this top, or at least find one of these players, you're phone a GG for map 2.
It's simple. Your win condition is set for Northwood. For St. Clair, I mean, they're playing, trying to lock down different rotations, but because they've rotated to B, you have to respect it if you're Brandon. You're trying to see if someone slips the net to the back line, and yeah, they do, but the timing just not going your way. It's so similar of map 1, where, again, you don't have the pressure on the map, you don't have the timings. Oof. It is all Northwood. The bomb's going to go down. The kill should come in here momentarily, barring any bendy magic. And this should be Northwood's map number 2, but again, completely
there it is.
unaware here in map number 2 of what adaptations they wanted to make.
Yeah, Bendy, that was the 4th 1 versus something situation. There was 3 1v3 for the season once Berlin was added into the control rotation. They've been a good control team in general, but this has been historically where teams have been able to sneak a game off of them, especially late in the series where they've already got themselves an advantage, or hell, maybe they've only been tied at 1-1 for a good bit of time. But either way, as we hop into game number 3 here, St. Clair on the left, Northwood on the right. And again, this is feeling like a must-win situation if you are the St. Clair Saints within this best-of-9 series. Although it's only 2 games in, Northwood have looked so good to break things off.
And off the break, St. Clair, you're just looking to get time on the board. I like this play from, it's a quick stack, 9 seconds tick off the clock. You're able to just to work this ace site. And I do like that because mentally, as a defensive team holding, it is hard to play perfect defense for, 2.5 minutes. You have to find a way to lapse and not lapse and not give up any mistakes or errors to find an opening for the offensive side. So for St. Clair, I like the B strategy. It lets you work, try to find an opening in towards A, and that's what they're looking to do now. Already through mid-map is Sinnoh. Can you find a couple of kills behind it and start to soften this defense?
Yeah, Priestley is going to be kind of the difference maker here. If you're able to get into the back lines here of this Northwood roster, this allows everybody else on the team to start making that pinch back over towards the site. But as quickly as I say that, it is player number 5 in Infinite who's able to shut him down. Now, as you look back over towards the train station side, St. Clair kind of getting funneled all the way in towards the back side of their spawn by P4. This is where the spawns can really start to hinder you if you're on the offensive side, because with Northwood now making their push up here on defense, they've gotten all the way into the control of your spawn. Sure, you've got the B site and an extra minute to work with, but if you can't take anybody off of the power positions, and we know how good Northwood are with their ARs, you're looking at, a desperation push at best.
And you can just control and funnel what lane you want these St. Clair players to come through. They're trying to get them through that bottom ticket side of the map where they're simply walking into pools. The crosses are covered, and an unfortunate grenade's going to land to get back off of this spot. Brandon will find a kill behind it. So you're winning the numbers game for now, but K-Top's still shooting players in the back, getting through and getting in tickets. Whenever they don't have a route running through fire, no one is taking a route off break through fire. Bendy, hopefully here, is going to try to do that. But again, Bink is ready for it. They've been ready for everything that St. Clair has tried to do, though it has been minimal at times. And for St. Clair, you're simply stunned. You still have 45 seconds to make a play, but there are just no kills coming behind it.
I was going to say, there's tons of times, and you have only a 3-life separation between these two teams, so a couple good kills going your way can absolutely equalize this round out a bit. But again, Cash, the problem that you allude to is nobody wanted to take that route out, and now that you have the route being taken out, Bendy's already able to find one on the flank, and now you're starting to make this pinch play, and this gives the room for the offense to breathe in their spawn side and start to make their push up the map. So here comes Brandon, left side, first kill, going to be in. Contestion now going to be on, going to stop the clock for just a minute, but now as it's Bink around the corner, as quickly as they came, they fell as well. And now back to the respawn block. It is going to be Northwood looking for this opportunity to completely close this round out. Bendy gives away his position, tries to get the shots through the window and can't walk away with a kill. This is going to be a Northwood University who looks strong and stout here in the first round of the Berlin control. Defense starts things off here.
That's as effective as it could have been. Bendy should have been in fire, running around, trying to chop players down off spawn. And if they weren't falling, make that pinch happen faster. I mean, they had 45 seconds when he was in position. You've got to find a way to play with a little more tempo and get yourself and get your team in a better position offensively. Just played a little too slow. The idea was there. I would like to see the execution of it sooner, but now defensively, it's their turn to try and hold. And, well, they only got 3 ticks on the board offensively, so they need a big response here.
Well, you're going to send 3 on offense here if you are Northwood in towards this B bottom mail building. And as Dak walks up the staircase, he's on 4 in a row, looking for number 5. Out the window, Bink going to be able to hold things off from Bendy, who was looking to force the issue and try to force those spawns of Northwood a little bit further up and towards that north side by the B zone. First tick of progress hasn't come in over by B. It's been a very trade-heavy first portion of the round here for both of these two teams. But now as Northwood has decided to hop on towards that B point, they're looking for that first bit of progress. Bink will lay back down, still on 4 in a row. Beautiful shots there onto Priestley, are going to give that 5 2 more kills, and he's got himself streaks to work with and utility in the back pocket. First progress over at the zone B. 3 lives now separating the two teams, with Northwood having the advantage here. Minute and 3 seconds left to work with. Yet an extra minute onto that clock. This is a dangerous offensive round.
I mean, I'm seeing kills in the kill feed for St. Clair, but every POV we hop on for St. Clair, they're taking damage. I'm one, excited to see that stat at the end of this, and two, it's just a testament to what we were talking about at map 2, where Northwood is so good at getting eyes on player and dealing damage for the trade or for whatever they need to do. For St. Clair, you're getting no clean looks at anyone around the map. Priestley in a good position here, needs to try and stay live and play his life, bleed more of this time. If he can, lives are about even. So you're sitting in about as good of a position as you can be, but now this is that question mark of, do we get over aggressive and give a few more lives here to Northwood, or do we just try to get a really good defensive hold? We'll see what they're able to do here, but it is rather aggressive out of them, and now a ticket lane open for a moment.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is like, you know, if you want to fight that aggression with aggression, if you are St. Clair, it hasn't historically worked out in the series just yet for you. So if you are Northwood, you are just that bit closer to being able to fully capture that B zone, and all it's going to take is one person to stagger around, hold on for the late push, and be able to complete that. So now 1 minute and 30 seconds to work with. 3 lives once again in the favor of Northwood here. And as Bink is already pushed up to the staircase, he's behind 1. Slides around the corner for the first. Sees the second player around the corner, can take his time. It's going to have some help here from the flank as well. Playing ring around the rows, either finally going to be able to knock that player down. 2 players still alive inside of that A zone, but unfortunately, it is going to be the last player here from the side of Brandon, who's going to need to make the big play in towards the spawn side, and will. So that will shut down the Northwood push, but still with tons of time, a full 60 seconds to work with, Northwood has tons of lives to throw at this hill and plenty of opportunity to do so.
Dak gonna open up with an opening from top. Fire, Brandon gonna take care of things, take inside, but 2 players coming on the flank. We'll see if they're ready for 2 players. That's been the question, right? There's always been one and then another. So you have to be ready for player 6, and K-Top gonna slip through past stairs. Gunfights being one on the point for the time being, but still 40 seconds left to go. If you can find a couple more 4 downs, they don't have many team pushes left. It's just a matter of simply holding on for St. Clair. Any momentum you can get, you'll take. Doesn't matter how clean or sloppy it is, you're just gonna try to get the round win.
Here comes the push. K-Top, first kill. Bink gonna be the second. Priestley lines up, but it's a costly team kill here. That's going to force things to be a 2 versus 2 on the site. Dak now trying to make his way in towards the zone. Looks over towards the left. They've spotted him out. He's going to try and get his little line of sight there through the window. Unfortunately, won't be able to do anything except wait for the back blinds to push up here from Northwood. 15 seconds left. No ticks on this A zone. They're going to either have to kill everybody from St. Clair or get inside of the zone to get it all the way completed up. 3 lives separate the 2 teams. Only 4 remaining. No respawns here from St. Clair. 3 versus 6 now make it 2. Infinite trying to push to the back. 1.1 seconds. You've got to win these kills here if you are St. Clair, but this is going to give them so much time to work with, and as Northwood dwindles the lives down to the final straw, they're able to snap it in half and take that offensive round. Beautiful work there from Northwood to force the issue and push this control to match point.
Both teams took a route there at the end to try to secure the round for their team. Bendy got through top 3rd and tried to find a kill, but again, Northwood was ready for it. They sniffed it out, they found the kill. Bendy was instantly made ineffective, and then Infinite slipped out secret, wrapped around through plat stairs, got up, shot 2 players in the back, and it was a 1v1 against Priestley that, you know, he had to take. So again, Infinite ended up winning the round. That's simply what Northwood is doing. I know it's a simple statement, but Northwood is winning. Look at any category, they are winning. And again, it's business as usual for them here. Just 1 round needed to close out this control.
1 through 3. They've gone all the way through with Infinite being the top dog on the side of Northwood. He has played so well throughout the series thus far. A big reason why this team is in a position to win their 3rd straight map here in this best of 9 grand final. Bendy, nade out around the corner, won't be able to find the gunfight on Dak. Dak will stay alive. Challenge up towards Brandon. 3 players here from the side of St. Clair. Already 2 ticks almost all the way through as well. K-Top will push over towards the point. And the dirty work has been done here from St. Clair. That is exactly what we wanted to see. An offensive hit towards the off-angled site that is going to allow you to be in a position to once again take command of a round on offense. They've got a 5 life advantage right now. They've got to get back over towards B. And it seems like, yes, maybe the harder portion of the battle is done by getting that A zone, but this B site is no beast to be tamed.
And it's not as close offensively as some people would make it out to be. If you have a good defensive setup like Northwood is trying to implement, you can spawn them bottom train, and that is quite the hike. It's the same hike as hiking down B Street defensively, so it is a near 50-50 foot race to get back to this hill. You find a couple kills for St. Clair, and you start to stack the point, but when is this pension break coming? It's coming now, and it's behind Dak.
Dak, all the way through the back line. Gonna be through. Find the first shots, around to the corner, can't win the gunfight, but it is there for a trade. Bink is able to find himself in towards the zone, and that shuts down what St. Clair was looking for potentially to be the nail in the coffin to get their first round on the board here inside of the control. Brandon, SMG, gunfight, win onto Bink. Pinstripe kill feed trades back and forth, going to allow the side of Northwood to at least have a bit of breathing room, but they're still down by 8 lives in total. Dak just trying to play from the top ropes here, waiting for one of the St. Clair players to start making their way forward. Still an opportunity to lose this round here if you are St. Clair, especially if you allow Northwood to continue to get these kills and push the map forward. You're not trading out, which again has been the biggest struggle throughout the entirety of the first 2 maps and even here inside of the control. And once again, you're putting yourselves in a difficult situation, even only needing a tick left to progress on B.
They still have 5 life advantage. St. Clair have looked better this round because they're simply finding more kills. It looks good when they are trading effectively and when they're winning these 1v1s. They're looking good. They need this fire to continue to burn and get started for them. A couple kills go down. You just need to find a couple more, stack the point, and this one is over. You got to find a way to close it out here against Northwood.
Dak's done over the top, Infinite on the staircase, just trying to pair these 2 players together, forcing St. Clair to have to force the issue up top and down low, split the defenses as best of their abilities. Priestley's shots are going to be there, and that should be the round win for St. Clair. So finally, something to smile about here for the Griffins.
If you keep playing and showing flashes like that, now that the gunny looks to be a bit warmer for you, hopefully things can start to go their way if they want to stay alive in this series. Northwood, you bend and then you broke. Now you can offensively, you strike back and close this one out.
Hey, that's a good pick there from Priestley. You had 3 players from Northwood go over towards that B zone to try and pick it off, very similar to what they did on their last offensive attempt. And now as they start to make their way and march forward, you could at least try to stop this second bit of progress. Unfortunately, though, you're just throwing lives away as you're pushing 1 by 1 into the hill, just trying to pick something off for yourselves. And Cash, that's something that this team has fallen into a lot, is after 1 or 2 players go down, they just want a consolation kill and they can't get it.
That's a great way to put it. And for St. Clair, simply you aren't in a position as well to play the trade. Not only are you not in a position to get the trade, but that consolation kill, not winning that, puts you down 3 lives, puts you down 3 kills, and puts you back at the starting block. Now defensively, you are playing aggressive and trained, but again, Priestley, it's just, for St. Clair, you have to have your head on a swivel all the time playing against this team because they are everywhere you think that they aren't. And that's a very hard position to cover and find players in, but heads have to be on a swivel knowing that they can strike from anywhere at any moment. Infinite doesn't have the trigger, just playing the sit plat. Stairs lines up almost 2. Priestley ends up getting the team kill, but does get the trade at that. So you hold on for now, but can you get some defensive fortification? We'll see if this route for Bendy works, but Northwood, they sniffed it out last time, and maybe we'll see if there's something different here.
It's not the worst situation to be in if you are St. Clair, forcing Northwood to have to use these 2 minutes all in towards effect of getting this A zone. 2 lives separating the 2 teams. Infinite in a corner here instead of the train station, looking for Bendy. Bendy's going to get some shots there to the player sitting in the corner, but won't be able to walk away with a kill. Good information either way for both of these 2 teams. 26 and 18 leading the way is Priestley, as he now finds himself to 27 on 3 in a row. St. Clair have started to push themselves forward and might even find themselves some streaks if they can pair a few more kills together. It's overzealous to think about, at least at the moment, but as Priestley now finds 4, he's 3 away from getting that glide bomb and maybe making some utility and use out of it. Brandon pushing the issue up the map. Nice 2 kills from him there. Pops a double and can now help back the rest of his team as Northwood continue to spawn deeper and deeper into their zone. 2 lives now to the defensive side of St. Clair, which is the first bit of hope that they've had since that last win on offense.
Priestley on a 5 streak. Your leader is finally on fire here. 29 and 18 in this control. This is the performance we need to see from him to really rally the troops and get everyone on board. Get 6 before getting taken down. Hopefully he has done enough for the rest of his team to be able to hold as he comes up off spawn. You don't want to let Northwood run straight at you. Keep throwing routes at him. Keep giving them something else to look at apart from this A zone. And I think if they do that, they'll be able to find success. But now we're starting to see these wrap backs. These routes come in with 35 seconds left. Dak opens up with a big kill.
He needs to go big. Isn't able to find 2. So Brandon's able to keep things at bay for the moment for the defensive side. 30 seconds left. Northwood have not used their time effectively, had the life advantage, now down by 4, and with just 20 more seconds to work a push over here towards the A site. Brandon has started to turn up. He's heated up, and so has the St. Clair roster. Infinite in the window, though. Think there as well. Trying to turn all the way back to the spawn side. Cena with the AR can pop Dak down, and now you look to Bink and Dak as they start to push to the staircase. Everybody shut down. No respawns remaining here from the side of Northwood, and it's all down to K-Top, who's on a little bit of a sneaky flank here, but guess who's watching for it? It's Priestley. 31 kills here in map number 3. They're going to force around number 5. We've gone 2-2 back and forth between St. Clair and Northwood.
You can hear the crowd getting in it. You hear the players on the stage starting to get excited as well. For St. Clair, they're starting to piece it together. And again, that's something I think St. Clair would have given up in map 1 or 2. We saw them give up routes and you know, get shot from their back lines. They are ready for it. They have made the adjustment. So for Northwood, they threw a few things at them. Nothing seemed to stick there. You lose 2 straight rounds as well, and now you're forced on offense for round number 5. I mean, all of the momentum is on the side of St. Clair to close out this control. If they can simply hold defensively, we'll see how they execute here. But I would definitely say these gunnies are more than hot for them, and they've arrived on this map.
Sino out the double doors. Bink and Dak able to get a nice 2 kills there. So we go 2 and 2 back and forth. Teams are able to stay at bay for just a moment. This offense here for the side of Northwood looking good thus far over towards the B zone. They're just trying to work a few more kills. That way they can at least give themselves a little bit of an opportunity to play back over towards A when they choose to later on in the round. It's been very, very concise with what Northwood have wanted to do. They don't want to diverge away from their plan of getting that B zone first and then having to work that late zone all the way in towards the end portions of the round. Infinite, a nice little double, going to help everybody get off of the spawn side here for Northwood back over towards the B side building. 4 in a row, 3 more kills here from Infinite, and we can start talking about some deadly streaks here from the side of Northwood that might just be able to give them some help over towards that A zone in just a minute. With St. Clair deciding to give this up and just allowing that extra minute to be added to the clock here for Northwood. It's a 2-life advantage. We saw how quickly that turned around the last time they were on offense in the previous round. St. Clair, this is their opportunity to be able to take their first map in this best of 9 series.
And they're ready for everything. Bendy watching the B Street cross. You have Priestley already chopping players down from Warehouse as well, but Infinite going to be in the back lines. Priestley may or may not be aware of it here. We'll see how this gunfight goes down. It'll at least keep you having defensive pressure. Infinite gonna win it at this one, and player 6 in K-Top has slipped the line. You got over aggressive. You got to be willing to snip out players that maybe slip the net here before they make too much of an impact.
And here we go. This is where they flipped the script the last time around. The tables have turned to where St. Clair now has the life advantage yet again, and this is the moment that could define this series and turn everything around. St. Clair moments away from being able to take their first map win. 1:20 is all that stands between them and getting on the board for the first time here in this grand final. Bink now trying to push his way up. Bendy with the AR trying to go ahead and hold everybody back, but as the respawns now start to come up, it's just taking a little too long here for the side of Northwood to make their pinch. You can hear the players starting to get a little bit more happy on the side of St. Clair. There's information that Northwood is still getting up close on the map, but they're able to shut down all the pressure that was made, and there's some alleviation and a lot of tents that have just gone out the window here in the last couple of seconds from the side of St. Clair. Northwood, an opportunity to attack here, but you see player number 8 in Bink Cash all the way on the flank, might be able to make it happen.
Gets the kill on center, that forces you to turn around. Brandon finds a kill on the backside of it. Priestley still not able to find that kill, but off spawn you're able to get it. You have pressure here for Infinite, but again, it keeps getting chopped down. I mean, for St. Clair, you are finding the kills. We hadn't seen them arrive in the slaying column like this entire series. To see them going toe-to-toe with the likes of Northwood, if they continue executing to this extent, we could see a long series. If they're able to pull off this control, they've just got to hold on for 20 more seconds.
K-Top was lucky to get out with his life previously, and that rewards him with 2 good kills. Now they're inside of this A zone, 6 versus 6. St. Clair, the man advantage by 1 singular kill. We're close to no respawns remaining from either of these 2 teams as the first zone of A trying to be captured here by the offensive team. 5 versus 4, Northwood the advantage. Inside of the zone, they have to fight back. Priestley in the back lines with the AR. Dak now for a trade, and as Bendy is there, it's the side of St. Clair who are winning the gunfights. 3-2 now, just 1 player remaining here for Infinite, and it's all it's going to come down to. 11 seconds to get into the zone, depleting it, and there it is. St. Clair will get the final kill that they needed, and for the first time here in this best of 9 series, a much needed map win goes the way of St. Clair. 2-1, Northwood still leads.
And it feels like the energy has shifted in a sense after that map, and they get a map win early on. There is still so much of this series left for them to battle back in, so they were only down 0-2. I know we made it sound like it was a dramatic map win that they needed to take.
Wasn't really much of an S&D that we saw out of you. There wasn't a particular ability to see them trade many times. Every round it was a first blood that went to Northwood, and when it wasn't a first blood, it was immediately 2 that came back for Northwood and put them down in the man advantage once again. So Dak opens things up with a double up and towards the top of the hill. Map number 4, a hard point, back to respawn yet again for a little bit of Gavutu. The first time we've seen this map here inside of our best of 9 series. Priestley will respond though. The AR is starting to heat up as Cash mentioned earlier, and that's a great sign if you are the St. Clair Saints.
getting back into P1, starting to get a bit of that time off the board, and P2 is going to go directly south of this point. So really no map positioning to fight for just yet. I mean, we could talk P3, but still so early on that we're just trying to get mid-map control under lock, at least for now. And on P1, St. Clair in the driver's seat, Priestley on a 3-0, where you want to be sitting, want him to continue on the fire that he finished that control with. And now as this battle goes down on boat for P2, Northwood, they're here with presence and numbers, but at 35 seconds of P1 already going the way of St. Clair.
Yeah, I mean, this is a complete 180 from what we saw in map number 1 and 2. You take that first hard point and you just extend that if you're St. Clair. And to be at that extension over towards the bottom of the LST ship here and being able to fight a rotation out of Northwood, this is such good ability to adapt to the new point in the game that you're at. And I'm just excited because of St. Clair.
That is who we needed to see get going. Sino had a 9-19 performance in the first Tuscan hardpoint. Is already 7-1 here. So just 2 kills off of outperforming himself in map number 1. This is the kind of phenomenal talent that Sino brings to the table. You can already hear them chirping on the stage as well. They're excited in this series. They are going toe-to-toe with the squad. And, well, it is dominant off of the start. St. Clair, they are here, and they are trying to get an early advantage in map number 4.
Priestley 6-0, by the way. One more kill for Priestley. You're talking about streaks already here on Gavutu, which, hey, by the way, that glide bomb on an open map is a match made in heaven. So as he's going to play just a bit more passive, he'll find himself in towards the bottom of the LST ship, around with his teammates. He's just trying to play for scraps here and maybe the rotation back over towards P3. But this has been a perfect game for the side of St. Clair so far. You get the majority of time in P1, you rotate and break Northwood out of P2, and now you have yourself set up on P3 with streaks in tow for Priestley. He gets shut down, but it doesn't matter. You have the utility to use.
That's all you were looking for was the streak. Gets chopped down, and you have players through the back for Northwood. But again, it feels like how map 1 started, roles reversed. Northwood now fighting off the back foot. It is an all-green kill feed favoring St. Clair. You don't have much map positioning to go off of. This is not how I was expecting Northwood to come out here in this map number 4. And that's just, again, a testament to how hard St. Clair came out swinging through these first 3 hills. Already at that century mark, already looking to try to march across the map here in just a few moments. It's 103-17. If you have said this Gavity's is going to start off that way favoring St. Clair, I would have called you crazy.
Look, coming into this, I knew that St. Clair were comfortable on Gavutu, but I didn't really understand the level of comfort that they had for themselves. And sure, this is going to be a great opportunity here for Northwood to really get themselves some solid time, but I mean, just look at that. He's pushed up all the way past player number 4. Okay, finally he's going to get spotted out, and that could have been something completely different, but you know, a nice little 3-piece and the kill feed right there comes through, and somehow, all of a sudden, St. Clair spawned on the back line because player number 7 and Brandon pushed up, and Vanguard does it again.
Vanguard strikes again. You're into the back, and hopefully this works out for St. Clair. You're given these spawns, but you can get pinned back here just as easily. Northwood can hold this just as easily from the front as they were the other direction, and that's what they're looking to do here. Still garnering most of this time, still set up for a full 60. St. Clair not quite able to get close enough yet. Tax and utilities raining in, and for now, this could be a win for Northwood. 20 seconds left. You have the advantage to get out and rotate to P5, so you're going to get this bit of scrap time, but Northwood are given the P5 rotation here after getting a good 30-40 seconds off the board.
I mean, you're given the rotation over to P5, sure, but I mean, you are Northwood, you are very comfortable in your ability to break back in toward the hill, especially over by P5. Losing out on a full 60 there because of the wonky spawn that comes in because you still had player number 4 on the LST ship, and then Brandon was able to push over towards the beach. That's got to be something in the back of your mind that you're just kind of haunted with, at least for the time being. But they do have the rotation out, as mentioned beforehand. 10 seconds have gone their way already. They're trying to climb their way back into this game, and at least for the moment, they've stalled out the St. Clair push by forcing them to wait for the players to continuously spawn up. They're just not able to make a coordinated 4-man push, and you still have Infinite, who's all the way on the top of the map trying to wreak havoc. He can cause a pinch play to happen at any time.
And this is scary for St. Clair because Northwood, when they get comfortable and they're like set shooters, right? When they get their feet set, they're going to knock down the shot. If you let them get in their setup, they are going to carve away at the scoreline. You need to keep whatever advantage, as big of an advantage as you can in this hard point to feel even somewhat comfortable and not worried that Northwood can come back, because at any scoreline, Northwood can find their way back into this one. They are just down really a full hill. You do get the break if you are St. Clair. So again, you have to continue going 30 for 30 the rest of the way. Yeah, you'll find yourself a map win here. You haven't given up an explosive play yet to Northwood. Continue to let that be the case behind your leader, Priestley, once again having a field day, and Sino as well.
Big rotation back over towards this round circle on the flak tower. As Brandon hits in towards the point, the contestant is going to be there. A beautiful little pinch here for the side of St. Clair is going to allow them to get 3 quick kills, and all of a sudden, once again, you have 3 different players with opportunities to start streaking here on the side of St. Clair, and now everybody is all paired together for 8 straight kills, and Northwood have had no sign of life here to not only be able to push in towards this hill, but break any setup that St. Clair has had for themselves until K-Dob decides to come in for a little 2-piece, but it's Brandon who answers back succinctly with Bink there as well. A beautiful 4-2 trade for Northwood finally has decided to be able to show some sort of ability to break a hill.
And finally crossed the century mark in this series. We are on our second set of rotations. They have only just hit 100 points, a 70-point lead. Now for St. Clair, as we go to P2, they locked down P2 and it went fairly even with it with Northwood the first go-around. P3 is what I'm looking at, where St. Clair could truly put this game away. This map control going to be oh so critical. Priestley playing a most important position here at Ring. That's where players are going to try to slip the net and start to flip their spawns as this hard point ticks away, but they are taking care of business on P2 and getting this time.
Bottom of the LST ship has been so good to the side of St. Clair, and as they continue to push back forward, it's Bink who's going to have something to say about it, and he has absolutely nothing to counteract what St. Clair has thrown his way. 200 to 105, almost a 100-point mirror advantage that St. Clair has here that Northwood had on the Tuscan for map number 1. This has completely shifted what this series has had for us in terms of the set expectations going into our hard points, and this is the perfect and primed opportunity for St. Clair to take advantage of the series. Cash, this one's not over yet. There's still opportunity for Northwood to come back here, and it's something we've seen time and time again.
You have the streak in Priestley on P3. This is the hill you want to use a glide bomb on if you need an early break. I fully expect this to come out from Priestley here. This would be the most heads-up play they could make to get an early break and to really not let Northwood get any momentum back in this. I hope that they get this streak called in so that they can get the break here. And for Northwood, you are hoping to hold on for your life, expecting that streak to come out, trying to find any kind of momentum behind it, because yeah, you hit that 200-point mark. There's the glide bomb coming in. You've got to get this perfectly. Hopefully someone's going to rotate to get back on time.
Over the top, you get the first domino down. St. Clair uses it at the perfect time as well. They have everybody in an availability option to start pushing their way throughout the map. Priestley, though, is able to find a couple of kills. Now he's looking over towards the right side. You haven't gotten to this hill just yet. You don't find just the first kill, and oh, that might just completely waste the streak for the side of St. Clair. Because you think you have the player killed, you start snapping onto the second. All of a sudden, things are turned around, and now it's only 20 seconds left, and this is where things can start to flip, because they're playing for the scraps here, Cash, and you already have player number 4 on the rotation over to P4.
Bink already wins them P4 rotation where they got a near full 60 the last go around. A full 60 would put them nearly back in this, but the win condition is set. As soon as I say, you know, that they have a good setup, you cannot make many more mistakes for Northwood. Here for St. Clair, you have set the win condition. We said that they had to come out, set the win condition, and give themselves any kind of clear-cut advantage early on. You need 14 points to win this game on top of St. Clair's 110. You've got to find a way to pick and choose, get these last few seconds here at the end, and not let any kind of comeback happen.
And that's when you have to win, because now St. Clair is spawning up towards the north portion of the beach, and they can start coming down onto the players inside of the point and being able to take this over. We saw Northwood almost able to get a full 60 seconds the last time through, but now it's Northwood who now are on the outside looking in as St. Clair have taken over the point here at P4. 5 seconds left is all they need to be able to tie the series up into a piece. K-Top, the last ditch effort to the front of the hill. You get the kills, but you can't be able to force any further here inside of map number 4 in a series that looks so good for Northwood to start things out has completely flipped on his head. St. Clair are steamrolling here in the last 2. Respawn not in the favor of Northwood anymore.
We said they had to do it when it's coming into the series. They had to find a way to get a couple respawns on the board. They have done that here going into a search and destroy. That's still
to win this 99% of the time. It was kind of like that for only a specific amount of teams and, you know, maybe the upper echelon of the challengers players, but when throughout the entirety of the game. And that's what separates the bottom teams from the best teams, the bottom players from the best players. So again, we apologize for the delay there as one player was crashed out of the lobby, but we've got things set back up here for a search and destroy on Berlin. 2-2 tied in the series, and hey, for the first time in what seems like forever, St. Clair get themselves a first blood on the board and have a 4-3 advantage here. Let's just hope they don't throw it away again.
The stun check rings true. They know Bink is somewhere around here. Bomb does go down behind it. It's just a matter of trying to find this last kill and not let Bink trade it out. Priestley trying to play on top third and Bink trying to get into the site, but Sino, Brandon, the 2 SMGs, they are playing so electric here as of these last couple of maps, but K-Top gets in and suddenly this round flipped on its head.
It's a 2v2. You have the win condition of being able to sit all the way back in your spawn, but you also have Bendy now falling. It's Priestley in a 1 versus 1 now. 20 seconds left. Tons of time for both of these players to play around one another. Great information there from Priestley. He's going to jump back around the corner there onto Dak. Beautiful little jump challenge there to get him the win, and that is savvy right there, Cash. Not only just taking the gunfight, but making sure you can back off and forcing Dak to have to come back in a different manner.
Get a good win there, Priestley. Playing out of his mind right now, which is what you would expect, right? So many players, there's always the one that rises to the occasion, and that has been Priestley for St. Clair as of late. K-Top playing a good series as well behind Dak. I mean, they're the first 2 on the board for the team, but they are having great series as well. Priestley, the one really paving the way and getting the St. Clair team back into the series. They get a round number 1 win on the board, which is huge for them. I mean, they had to respond after being down a couple rounds in map number 2, so that was a very, again, confident. Like I said, the energy has shifted, the momentum shifted. You know that St. Clair is playing how they look comfortable. They're playing how they want to and executing their game plan. Defensively, but Bink able to find the first blood there.
Good shots there, long all the way on the dock side. K-Top there, easy to pick up on Deseno as well. So Infinite will sneak back over towards the right side. Bendy all the way through those cracks, and the floorboard is going to get cut down. And as quickly as St. Clair had a little bit of hope for themselves, things have turned quite opposite in the other direction. Infinite is going to back all the way off. Brandon now, his location known. And this is going to be a round win here for the side of Northwood off the back end of a good defensive round.
Basically panned out the same way that the first round went. You got a first blood, you worked the B side behind it, and quickly got the objective planted. It was just a bit cleaner in execution and kills for the side of Northwood. So they respond back handshake rounds through the first 2, and on round number 3, we'll see what St. Clair look to do. It usually takes the first few rounds to start to shake up kind of your offensive approach. Teams try to really, especially the team that takes offense first, really tries to get that momentum going in their favor. You're going to work B until it doesn't work, and then finally, if you get enough of that tempo on your side, that's when you feel comfortable enough to switch things up and get the defense guessing. So we'll see if they can do just that, but it isn't all out hit towards B. It's going to be a 4v2, and well, this battle's going down quickly. Yeah,
it's basically what we saw, picture perfect from the first round, but Infinite's going to be able to win the first gunfight here. Ho, ho, ho! If he snaps to the second one, oh, that's a good night there for the St. Clair Saints. Either way, Bink going to be able to trade things back. Now Northwood, the advantage 3 versus 2. Very similar to what we saw in that second map in the Bocage. As Bink looks into the window, shots are going to ring out there from the Automaton. And unfortunately there for St. Clair, you do have the bomb down. But unfortunately, you haven't been able to come to the site just yet. Bink there, Priestley 1 versus 2.
Bomb down in the site. The rest of the team for Northwood going to be aware of that, and I don't expect them to get aggressive trying to hunt for Priestley. Sure, you hear the noise, and now you have an idea that he's going to be up here lurking around. But with player 5 Dak just watching this B cross, I anticipate the clock going to bleed out if they can't find this kill sooner than later. We'll see if Priestley's able to make magic happen. Answer quickly. Going to be no. Northwood take 2 straight here and find themselves up 2-1.
And again, you know, there was magic in the air for St. Clair in that first round. I think that aggressive really does work to catch Northwood off guard because they think you're going to be playing more of a passive search and destroy game like you did on the Bocage. But that's only going to work out once in a blue moon. You have to switch things up a little bit from round to round against this Northwood roster because they're going to be able to adapt to what you did in that first round, shut it down, and make sure you can't do it again. So back to the offensive side here. Northwood was able to win their last 2 rounds in a row, trying to make it 3 here. And as they start to send everybody with those blue arrows over towards the top portion of your mini-map, over towards that boathouse on the B site, it is going to be Bendy who's forced to back off all the way over from the top of fire. 80 HP to his name, 20 taken off, and with 15 seconds off the board, still plenty of time for this Northwood offensive approach to work. All it's going to come down to is, of course, those first bloods, and if they can get this aggression in towards the B sites, because they at least know that one person's inside of it.
We'll see what player 2 and Brandon looks to do. Maybe waiting for some movement as it is completely silent here on Berlin. As soon as these first shots ring out and give up where this push is coming from, I would like to see if Brandon slips the line and tries to get behind him because no one really watching. I mean, Bink maybe getting eyes on it, but that's not really the case. Dak gonna find the first blood, so now we start to see the shift, and well, when you see a shift, you start to see Northwood be ready for players to walk into their pre-games. They find a couple kills behind it. It's gonna be a 2v3. Brandon taking damage, and if he can find a kill here, great. If not, well, that bodes unfairly for Priestley in a 1v4 situation here, trying to get this bomb over at B.
Yeah, look, this is one of the things where you just dolphin dive into the water there, say your prayers, and hasta la vista off the map. You don't feed them any more kills for potential streaks on the board, and you're just giving them more momentum at that point. So take yourself out of the equation, off yourself the map, As Bank is going to be able to pick up that last kill there. Northwood have won 3 straight rounds. Cash, this is where things start to get a little interesting in terms of the momentum shift here inside of the Search and Destroy. Sure, if you're saying Clair, you've been able to win 1 round, but you still only have the same amount of rounds you won in that last S&D. Northwood was able to win 5 straight, and they're on the way to do so again.
Objective play has been good, great fun, awesome if you can execute it, but
like
I mean, Seno and Bendy aren't on the board yet, so that's definitely going to play a factor here for you. You only have 2 players finding kills in these rounds, Seno at least finding 1, but we start to see the switch up on the offensive side, the play call coming in for A, but you've got to get these players on board, and unfortunately, Bendy not going to get it done here.
And that's just putting yourself in a bad position, getting caught off guard. You know there's going to be a couple players there, and you just run out into the open, and once again, it's another 1 versus 4 here from the side of St. Clair. So, yes, you get information. Yes, you know, you're making a nice play. I love switching up the pace, going from B over towards A, sending 2 players aggressively to try and take those initial gunfights against Northwood. But when you don't win the first, you can't just force something and hope something is going to be there just to try and get a trade. You have to make a calculated approach to what you're going to be doing on that side. And again, it's just another situation where if you're seeing, you just need to hop off the map. Everybody on the side of Northwood is streaking right now. You cannot try for a 1v4.
2 players on 3 streaks, 2 players on 2 streaks. Like you said, they're just aiding to fuel that fire, and it just feels all too eerie of what Bacage did. They started off on a great start. It felt inspired out of St. Clair, but Northwood just going the extra mile to make these adjustments. And I think more so, like you were saying, they're catching players out for St. Clair. You can adapt and make a rotation and switch up the play. That's fine. It has to be smart. You can't just do it for the sake of doing it, like you just said. So behind it, they're not having any, kind of calculation or thought. And, well, they also only have 6 kills on the board. 3 players for the side of Northwood are almost at that by themselves. Bendy, if he can get on the board here and get something going, that would be great. But, I mean, you hope it's not too little too late. We haven't seen them come back from an S&D deficit like this. I don't know that it'll be the case here. Northwood playing very, very strong Search and Destroy, which goes to show that they've done their homework.
It's been 3 flawless rounds from the side of Northwood. St. Clair has yet to get a kill in, well, the last 3 rounds. Seno over towards the dock side with the rest of the team, just trying to make sure Northwood cannot make this push any further forward. This is where you start to get a little dicey here on the defensive side. Do you start to get a bit more aggressive? Do you push up? Do you put yourselves out of position to try and work a pick to make sure nobody can get over towards the opposite site? And then the answer, unfortunately, is yes there from the side of the St. Clair Saints, even though I hoped it wouldn't be. For the first time, though, you're going to be able to get a kill and find yourself a trade. So still down 1-4 in terms of the round count, but as Seno finds another kill there, they're able to escape with their lives. 2 versus 3 here from Northwood. 30 seconds left to get that bomb down.
Now make that a 1v3 and should be around on the board for St. Clair. Barring any heroics, Infinite gonna end up getting the kill. Brandon not even gonna shoot back in that moment, but you have a 2-2 split. Looking at this beam site, 15 seconds left. I don't know that there's gonna be time to get this bomb down with both of these players. Guarding it like they are, they're gonna lay down. Try to get Infinite off the board if they can, seeing he's on a 4 streak.
Yeah.
But if anything, be satisfied with a round win there. They get it on the board, and again, the S&D feels so one-dimensional. I see Brandon sit outside tickets waiting for an A push or waiting for a Northwood flank, not running an internal timer saying, if I don't see one by this time, I'm going to try to hit it out myself. Now, again, I get there's given play calls and given set pieces that they like to execute, but no switch up of play where every single time on offense for Northwood, they've all bundled up at that B site.
Yep.
Warehouse is open. Players watch it, but again, that's where timing comes in. You can get around and slip the net. They haven't even tried, so I think they need to do some kind of switch up in tempo and pacing and execute it well like they had tried at this A site. And, well, they're going to try to execute it again, but I think Northwood, they're here and ready.
Stun check out, not going to be able to find anything. Dak is able to open things up with the first blood trade immediately. 3 versus 3. Minute and 10 seconds left. Bomb still in the hands of the St. Clair Saints. And for the moment, Northwood has opted to play this quite slowly. But look at Infinite all the way around the back. Could play spoiler to what they want to do here. He's looking for Priestley. Looking for Brandon as well. And you see him, he's tracking him. But he only has an MP40. He's trying to get up close where he doesn't alert his presence just yet, but Bendy's also trying to make a route all the way around the back. So while both of these flanks are going at the same time, it's a 2 versus 2, and now the map is just completely flipped on itself as all the flanks have just worked out in unison once together. Bink walks away with the kill, 1 versus 2. Bomb down, 40 seconds left. They've got to walk away with a defuse as well, but now Brandon has given himself away, and the information is to the side of Northwood University here as they're trying to retake back over towards the site. Brandon gonna get the crosshair on him, not able to snap. Bink gonna shoot his body, and well, rightfully so. That was quite disgusting from Bank. An opportunity there for Priestley that just falls to the wayside completely.
You get to the A side, you execute like you want to, you can't find the kills behind it. And again, Bendy couldn't execute on his route. Northwood, once again, finds a way to slip the net and capitalize, and working out for them very well. Sitting at map point here, 5-2 in our Berlin search and destroy to put themselves up 3-2 in the series. Can they close it out? The answer looking like yes, and Bendy hoping the answer is no to joining the agency here.
Well, he's already joined it, so it's a GG on that. We'll be seeing you. Oh boy. Yikes. Well, there's always a time and a place to do it. Maybe not in a grand final, but 0-8 on his way to the donut shop still. Going forward, Priestley able to trade that out, 3 versus 3. And you'd think maybe, just maybe, if Bendy was able to get himself onto the board, this game could be just a bit closer. Everybody from the side of Northwood either positive or just about at even. And again, it just comes down to the display that we've seen in terms of slaying from both of these two teams. Bink gets some great shots there. He's going to opt to back off, and rightfully so. You're in a 2 versus 3. But now you have the information in the free reign on the bomb site. St. Clair, you know, you already have one person that you've seen towards A. Why is... Hey, guys, we're at B still. Sure. What?
Gonna play the 3v2 wrap back and try to trust that, but again, you let them get the bomb down and get a post plant set up on A. Bink taking a long line of sight with the AR and able to find a kill behind it. Now a 2v2 with, again, no information. You didn't play the wrap back towards A, so you have no clue where these players could be. You're going to be walking into preamps because they're both, guess what, aggressive through tickets. Bink should be shooting players in the back here in a moment when the call comes in. Priestley finds one. Don't know if he'll be able to snap to the other, but you don't have any room for error. These kills have to come in because time's dwindling. Going to play the clock.
Oh.
This one going to be over.
Bink plays it perfectly, plays with his teammate, and sure, they might go ahead and find the kill. He's able to get back to the staircase. The win condition was just playing all the way in the back of the hallway on the staircase, and that will do it here for the search and destroy in map number 5. 3-2 now in this best-of-9 series. Northwood finally strikes back here. After 2 maps, they fell into a rut, but the valley only lasts for so long. A ramp to the sunlight has been there, and well, they're finally bad limbs on the scoreboard, so it might not have looked exactly like a donut, but at least in his mind, he knows. So this is something that he needs to understand to change out just a little bit, and it has to start here on the Gavutu, or you're going to be risking, again, being in another must-win situation, down 4-2 inside of the series after a Gavutu. Infant in the bottom of the LST ship, trying to go ahead and get this first tick of progress here on the A zone. Priestley from the middle with that AR in hand is going to be able to find one, but unfortunately isn't able to escape out with his life. Dak on the top of the LST ship will rain down from above, and this is going to be continuously stalling out the clock while getting more and more progress for this Northwood University roster here on their first offensive attempt.
Green control, one of the first things you check defensively to get control of, but ring control is going to be everything between these two teams. You had it at the start for the side of St. Clair. Bendy gets chopped down, and now you have players bleeding through for Northwood over towards this B site. So ring control, both offensively and defensively, will kind of be that pivot and that X factor through the map to allow you that side-to-side transition, whichever way you are looking to get. So that's what I'll be keeping my eyes on what team is having control of that. But for now, the A side is in firm control of Northwood. They are less than a tick away from closing this one out and having over 2 minutes to segue to B.
God, it's been so long since I've been able to sit here and say, hey guys, guess what? Hard to get the B zone on Gavutu for control, but it's going to be a task that Northwood is going to have to be up to here in round number 1. 22-16, a 6-life advantage here for Northwood with 1 minute and 50 seconds left to get over towards its B side. And look at who is in the back lines of the spawn. It's K-Top, who has been stellar throughout the entirety of the series all day today. And as he's going to be able to be behind the first one, he's got the MP40 out, and the teammates are there for help. 3 players going to go down immediately. St. Clair, that's everybody down, and now they're spawning back over towards the deep spawn side over by the green shed building. Bendy going to be with the AR, trying to look on out. First tick of progress over at the B zone has gone through, and Papa Bink will pop 3 in a row. Now on 5, trying to go ahead and find streaks early on here. A complete flip of a respawn here for Northwood, and just like that, one of the most dominant rounds of offense we have seen on Gavutu throughout, and I mean throughout the entirety of the Vanguard year.
Clinical, and on the offensive side as well. Again, the slaying for the side of Northwood comes in such an avalanche and such an onslaught that it's hard to, again, get any kind of momentum because you're coming up spawn and taking gunfights.
Yeah.
I mean, Bink on a 6 streak right now, blink and you'll miss him. He is able to get one away from finding that glide bomb, which this early on in the series, you're absolutely going to take for St. Clair. Again, you come out and you get stunned and shut up. It's a matter of who gets hot and who gets going early on and can ride that until the end. That's at least been the trend we've seen in this series, and for now, signs point to Northwood, and well, off this opening break, that's not changing all that much.
Infinite down below. Bink won't be able to find himself the 7 kill here in the round. So if you are St. Clair, you can breathe a little bit easier knowing that there's not going to be an opportunity for streaks from the side of Northwood University, at least for the time being. K-Top looking for Brandon, who's on top of the tank inside of the bottom of the LST ship, but his 2 ticks of progress have already gone through. This is looking like a mirrored offensive round here for the side of St. Clair, as we saw from Northwood in the previous round before. Bendy all the way in the back, 4 in a row, snaps for number 5, looks for number 6 there as well. Oh, tried to pull off of what Bink did in the previous round. Unfortunately wasn't able to walk away with those kills, but they do enough to control themselves that A zone, and they've worked the player over towards B at the same time. Unfortunately, that last tick of progress on that B zone won't be able to be there, so Northwood can shut that down for a moment. But Cash, plenty of lives, plenty of time. This is a great opportunity for St. Clair.
And St. Clair falling there for essentially the first time in a clean 4-down fashion lets Northwood get across the map for a defensive setup. This is something St. Clair wasn't allowed to do because Northwood was constantly spawning up in a position to apply pressure on B, and they simply executed behind the kills they were able to find. Now for St. Clair, you have to work out of a slight spawn trap. You go 3 down once again. Priestley, your most advanced player, and even then, he's only at your first cut. So you've got to do work to clear players out of spawn to even get across the map. This is what you were hoping to not let Northwood get in the position of, but there is still plenty of clock and plenty of lives left to work with. You do have the advantage here, given how that opening break went. Can you find a kill funneling through these lanes?
Brandon, that's a huge kill to walk away with. Now that's 2 in a row. Nate gonna be out. He has information. Then there's Brandon for 3. Oh! Brandon, give him all 4. Now over towards the B zone. This is the catalyst to capture the entirety of B. And that first tick of progress is looking oh so good as Brandon's now on 5 in a row. Player around the corner gets shut down. Could have been 6, but that first tick of progress is there. And now they can continue to work this as Infinite is working a pinch play all the way back around on the top of the flak tower. 16-9 in terms of the lives, and they continue to dwindle here from Northwood as St. Clair has done a stellar job of working over towards that B zone. Or I should say Brandon.
I'll say, yeah, Brandon really working magic over there, but it was all for 1 tick of progress. It would have been great for them to have been able to close that second tick. It doesn't come in, but that might just be enough momentum to get you going. Don't let Northwood get set up in another defensive position, but as I say, that Bink already going to be shooting players in the back, and no one for St. Clair is going to be ready for this. Find one, Infinite finds another in the front. You're pinched in a ring with no other map control, and it's back to square one. As momentum heavy as that play was, it very much could have been all for naught. Northwood did not shake or falter after that sequence.
Well, as quickly as it was 15-8, it's now 8-8 and 8-7. St. Clair still have the advantage here. So let's not get too ahead of ourselves. With 30 seconds left, and only 7 players that they need to take out. They've got the first domino to fall in K-Top, and now it's Bink falls as well. They're just desperately close to being at that last live remaining as Priestley picks up the flank kill there. 6 versus 4, 20 seconds left here on the round. Infinite, a big kill to stop the advancement that's going forward, but here comes the flank on the backside. 13 seconds now is all that remains here for the side of St. Clair to be able to take this, and Ascena was on the flank as well. He's able to find yet another kill in towards the point. 5 seconds, it's a foot race back over towards the point. K-Top can go big here. He's able to find one. They need to not kill him here, and they can win the round. Oh my God! Are you kidding me?
Northwood finding a way to get that round done in the fashion that they did. I thought the time was coming into factor. I thought that maybe they would find a way to get that last kill, and they don't. And for St. Clair, that is a blunder of catastrophic effects here in this control. Sure, you've been down 0-2 before, but I mean, you make a big play behind Brandon and nothing, or excuse me, you don't make a big play behind Brandon's sequence of kills, and it ends up costing you the round. You needed to find 1 kill. 1 kill.
The point doesn't matter.
The point doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You just have to kill him. Oh, K-Top, it's plays like that that win championships, and that might have well sent them on their way to being able to take this map, which would then put the series at match in game point. Priestley, looking forward, is able to find Bink, 28-26. It's going to have to be another offensive round here for the side of Northwood to be able to close it out in 3, but with the way they look so dominant the first time around, they're putting a lot of pressure over towards this B zone.
This is what got them the offensive round win the last go-round. They poured constant pressure that you were never able to get a fortified setup. So if they decide to bully this out and get what truly is in this control, the harder point, this could bode really game over for the side of St. Clair because they didn't get a comfortable setup the last time around. Now they have to sequence back and forth and find a way to go from site to site, where Northwood, again, this is that win condition that you set. When you play with such map control and such map pressure, the other team just has to go with the ebb and flow of it. You are in control of where and how you want to play. Northwood doing just that here. Sure, they have the life disadvantage, but look at where they are on the map. Now they're comfortable segueing back to this A site, trying to get some of this progress up, and already have one at B. St. Clair just trying to figure out where their next opening is.
I mean, ever since K-Top made that play, he hasn't been able to walk away with a kill. Brandon trying to go big yet again, could have found himself yet another 3-piece here inside of this game. And I mean, before he made that big pop-off play, he had like 3 kills to his name, but there's Priestley in the back line for 3 quick kills and now on 6 in a row. Could earn streaks here for the side of St. Clair, and it's just like that, how things so quickly can change for one team, and with just 12 seconds left here in the round, Northwood hasn't gotten either the A or the B site. This has been pitch perfect for the side of St. Clair, and it's exactly what they needed to keep this alive. This is how a defense should play. It's how it should work, and this is how you should be able to master yourself around a map. How about Sinnoh now shooting bodies himself? Hey, buddy, you're still down a map in the series in 2 rounds here in the control. Let's calm down.
Sometimes
I like it, but let's calm down.
Sometimes you gotta go ego swinging and get yourself back into it whatever way you can. And hey, that's the way Sinnoh's feeling himself here. And as I said, Northwood gave themselves the map position to ebb and flow back and forth from site to site. They didn't find the kills to find progress at either. So they gave up a defensive hold to St. Clair, who, again, very much feeling themselves in the series, taking one big play for either side of the stage to start letting each other know. And now for St. Clair, you're battling back from an 0-2 deficit and in control once again. Congratulations, you get the defense off the board, but your offense didn't quite look as pretty the last go-around. You needed to find 1 kill to win that one, and you couldn't. You could be up 2-1 here in this control, and you aren't. So we'll see what the execution looks like for them, but Infinite, once again, opening up this defensive round with the first blood.
And it's crazy, too, because now you have to force yourself all the way forward with an offensive round win, and especially with how Northwood has looked on the defensive side, not allowing that B zone to be captured, not allowing you to force your way up the map. Again, you've hit on it so many times now. That hero play from Brandon is a hero play for a reason. You're not going to get 5 kills immediately every single time and team wipe by yourself. Dak is looking in the middle of the map with the automaton over the top. It's 29-23. Again, this is for Northwood to force this to a 3-1 win on Gavutu, find themselves a 4-2 advantage in the series, and maybe be able to take the entirety of the grand final with one final map on a search and destroy that would be on Tuscan. Here comes a spawn setup and a flank coming through.
Bendy has to do something. Bendy's been in the back lines the entirety of this round while his team's getting mowed down. And, well, if you're Northwood, you probably have an idea that he's back there, but he's not doing anything. So what's it matter? You don't even have to turn around. You're just chopping him down. He's not going to 1v4 get these sites. So you have someone else slip the line and Brandon. But, again, I think Bendy's play, just like it was in Search and Destroy earlier, just a bit too slow here. And Northwood got a bit too much footing. The streak going to come in to get you off of B. They've got you in a spawn trap right where they want you. It's just a matter of time before this closes out. Again, barring heroics, but even then, you couldn't execute for the side of St. Clair.
Dak at the top of the LST ship looking for the final nail in the coffin, and I think it's already come here in the form of Northwood being able to find their way through the middle of the map. K-Top down below the LST ship, crowned superior for the side of Northwood. Bodies were shot in that game by St. Clair, by the way. I just want that to be pointed out. 3-1 series point here inside of our best of 9. The grand finals can be won on Tuscan in a search and destroy. Northwood, all they need to do is to go from here for St. Clair, and that's up.
They have to close it out on, sure, you see on the roadmap here of our series.
That, you know, we'd be in a 4-2 situation, but the only 2 maps that were won by St. Clair weren't search and destroys. I'd genuinely be a little kind of discombobulated, and right now I am. St. Clair has one more opportunity in order to be able to find their way back into things here. Cash, I know you're already upset. I just saw the look on your face. It's just 2 first bloods that go the way of the Northwood roster.
It's Infinite through mid-map for free into alley just to get the kill on Sinnoh, and it's so fast. It's before you think someone could be there. But as I've said this whole series, when you're thinking about Northwood, think that they're going to be there because they are, and they have been the entire night. Infinite once again creeping up. I mean, you're watching it if you're Priestley, but are you going to be ready for the gunfight? The answer is at least yes, but the damage has been done in this round. It's still a 2v3 situation that you were fighting back from, and again, we'll see how unchecked that route goes on Tuscan, but I would be very, very mind blown if St. Clair don't find a way to keep that in line. Either way, Northwood likes to play around aggression. They do just that here and have the advantage. Oof. It's a stagnant hold. You don't have the comfort to put this bomb down, and maybe that kill gives you a little bit of clearance.
this changes everything because the nade was already used to make sure they couldn't get on that B bomb, or excuse me, that A bomb, and now all of a sudden you have the player who's in top. How are you going to rechow that over towards top broken when you know the player's there? Priestley gets great timing on the player there. K-Top now can turn around. He knows the player's in the top of the building. Bomb gonna go down. Dak looking over the top. Stun gonna be there. Check is out. Priestley should be able to escape with his life. Checks down to the bottom. Dak, you need to be careful here in this gunfight. Priestley just trying to go ahead and play this bomb head glitch. And as Dak comes around the corner, Priestley escapes with his life. 78 HP. Dak not willing to taste all just yet. And here comes Priestley, all the way wrapped around on the flank. That is savvy right there from Priestley.
Heads up.
Another search and destroy where St. Clair are able to take that first round. Cash, as an analyst, you gotta love that.
I do love it, but they haven't done anything behind it, so I'm trying not to get too excited. A very savvy, a very heads-up play coming in from Priestley. Just, it doesn't even hesitate on making the wrap back. Dak is none the wiser for it. Finally, you catch Northwood off guard. You catch them looking the wrong way, and you win. You had the first blood disadvantage too, so again, the first round, every single search and destroy has looked inspiring for the side of St. Clair. I've got to see more behind it. It looks great. Consistency has been this team's problem in S&D. Infinite opens up with another first blood. You are getting aggressive through mid-map.
Nice.
You find a kill behind it, but again, I need to see continuation, and here, at least off to another good start.
Well, the good news is Cena was able to get into a corner in the middle of the map inside of U, where he's able to escape with his life for the time being. Brandon, Dak quickly trading everything out. Now it's a 1 versus 2 here from Dak all the way in the back lines. Information to St. Clair. They know exactly where this player is. Dak does not know where the other player from St. Clair is, but he might have just spotted him in the top of the church, and that could be the information that he needs to potentially win this round. Escapes to the bottom of the church. Call out should be there from Sino. If you are St. Clair, you're playing this together. 2 players over towards the A side. Dak does not have the bomb in his hand.
Both players for St. Clair playing around the fact that they know bomb is down in the back, and they are playing together. So if anything, you play the trade, but you have to stay in position where you can play the trade. Even if you are playing in close proximity, sometimes that's not good enough to get the trade in here. Dak could get the timing to find the kill. Not going to be the case. Sino thinking about going on the chase, but you still have the tack in the back pocket if you are Dak. We'll see if that comes to fruition, but time starting to tick. No kills going your way. Sino about to fly around the corner, but not needed. For the first time, St. Clair's up 2-0 in a search and destroy, and that sounds crazy saying, you know, we're so early in it, but again, St. Clair pulling out all the stops, well, because they have to here in S&D.
Yep.
It is still so early, but they've made Northwood look uncomfortable, and I think that's the biggest thing to note.
Well, here's the thing. You know, maybe, yeah, sure, they've won. They're up 2-0 in the S&D. I don't even think we have to go that far. That's the first time they've won back-to-back rounds in a search and destroy throughout 3 entire S&D maps. That's insane. Like, genuinely speaking, that is insanity. And Northwood, they need to respond here in order to make them pay. Because if they don't, it's going to be a weird situation. But the bomb is left all the way back in the spawn, and this is what they did so many times throughout the season, at least from what I can remember in the CCL. They let one person sit all the way in the backside of spawn, and then they try to force a gunfight anywhere else on the map. They let Northwood get aggressive, whoever they're playing with get aggressive, and that's when they strike for a first blood.
And you can see Northwood has changed their playstyle because it's not aggressive. I mean, the last defensive go-round, Infinite was already in L finding a kill against St. Clair. So you've already forced Northwood to change their approach to this defensive round. And again, it's also behind 2 players for Northwood not having kills on the board. So kills have really been just about everything in this series, and when you have 2 players coming out flat for Northwood, yeah, it's definitely going to start to feel that effect. Sino finds the first blood, Dak able to trade it out, and from here, the mid-round onslaught, St. Clair has to find a way to survive it. So far, they are not finding a way to.
I don't know if I love that play there from Sino. Like, yes, he gets the first blood, and then he overheats. He overheats, and he continues to challenge throughout the middle of the map. And that's just something that you cannot afford to do. And all of a sudden, you were in a 4 versus 3. Now you're in a 1 versus 3. You let everybody from Northwood get a kill without being traded out. And this is the same problem that we've had going all the way back to the second map of the series in our first S&D.
1v3. Gotta find a way to work any kind of pick. Bomb down in the back, you know someone's gonna be playing for it, but you don't even have time.
Yeah.
You know, this round is over. I just had to peek up trying to lay down the lay of the land, and well, there is none to be laid. This one going the way of Northwood. They stop, like you had said, going into this round, that 3rd round, that halfway point momentum that St. Clair have yet to reach at all.
Sure.
Find a way to stop it. You answer back. Now what can they do from here? And for St. Clair, around, like you said, where they've been faltering in search and destroy, they've simply been caught out. They've been over-aggressive, overheating, like you were saying, and they've paid dearly for it. We'll see what adjustments, if any, they make going forward. And now for Northwood, need to see some offensive execution out of them to try to tie this one back.
Jumping over the top. I love this play from Bendy here, but you have to be careful. You're able to find the first. Bendy now for 2. Beautiful there from St. Clair. I love the play call. You're not able to find the third, but the damage has been done. In 2 players from this Northwood roster already knocked off the board. Dak still very capable hands here with Bink, as he's the leading fragger for the side of Northwood at the moment. 6-2 overall, 3 in a row. Pushing yourself in towards the side of P5. But you're kind of just trapped on the map right now, because St. Clair, pretty much every angle cut off. No matter where you push, there's going to be a body at least able to tell, hey, somebody's coming through here. The only place they don't technically have is the middle of the map if they get good timing from Priestley.
And I'd like to see them maybe work and clear out more of the map to you hit that process of elimination and say for certain they have to be here. Like you said, mid-map still questionable. Priestley trying to get good timing. They have an idea they're working towards P5, but all of this pressure is going to be on Brandon to, if anything, find a kill, but at least relay this information. The cross starting to come in, the gunfight starting to ring out. You find the kill, the rat back has to come in. Bomb plant coming in quickly now for the side of Northwood. For the play, they're here.
He saw him jump down, and Bink was able to wrap back around to find Priestley. And once again, another situation where Northwood does not have man advantage, and it completely flips on its head. 1 versus 1. Sino does a great job of being able to find Bink, but has no idea where Dak is going to be. Now both players understand where each other are. Dak runs out of ammo, but is going to be able to snap back on with the pistol. As Captain Price always says, it's faster to swap to that pistol, baby.
And strike back 2 rounds straight to get the one, or excuse me, to get this map tied up. It's been 1v1s in the first round that it came down to for Priestley to win. There, Dak wins a big one to tie it up. And this is just a search and destroy feeling that we haven't quite seen before. Northwood having to battle back from a disadvantage of a couple rounds, but this is the point in the game where, again, St. Clair have to show adaptation and grit and resilience, because this is the maximum amount of rounds we've seen them win within a given search and destroy. So this round will be very telling for what St. Clair has left in the tank.
Well, it was Borges looking for St. Clair on their scoreboard for a moment's time. Fortunately, Dak has spoiled that party and got streaks in the process. So a glide bomb now for Northwood. Dak has single-handedly carried the torch inside of this S&D and shut down anything St. Clair has decided to throw their way. Dak will finally fall. 3 versus 2. Priestley, nice shots there onto Bink. And things are all evened out. First time we've seen a sniper out here from Infinite. Oh my God! Taking off, we'll be seeing you. Fortunately enough, Priestley's able to trade that out. If there's any man that's been able to go ahead and give the side of St. Clair's an advantage inside of this series, it's been Priestley. But he needs to find K-Top here, and he gets great timing on him. Gun almost gets in the way. He's almost able to escape through the back line for free. But St. Clair, for the first time through the halfway point of an S&D, will have themselves a lead.
They did what Northwood did the previous round. Again, throw first bloods even out the window. This is coming down to, though we still have maps left in the series after this map is playing like a Game 5, where it's like every single round matters. First bloods sure matter to an extent, but both teams have won back-to-back round, or excuse me, alternating rounds where they haven't had the first blood advantage. This is, at this point, it's coming down to pure instinct, pure gun skill, and again, minimizing the mistakes and trying to execute the best you can, but first bloods and everything doesn't even matter at this point. All of these players have their X factors turned up to 11.
Right now, the key for St. Clair, kill Bink, you win a round. It's been pretty every single time. And oh, Bendy, a nice little double, jumps around the corner, cuts 2 players from Northwood down, and now it's Sino all the way in the back. Oh, Jesus, that can't happen.
Really?
Sweet baby mama.
Really cannot happen. All the momentum you had just garnered in that round, it feels like it was stopped at the hands of K-Top. And now Brandon and Priestley get caught YYing or switching guns, whatever the case was. You're going to be chopped down for a free bomb plant. Priestley, once again, in a 1v2 situation with bomb down, with minimal information on where these players are. We'll see if he can pull off another clutch to keep them the round advantage, but they have an idea he's here.
But he's going to be able to spot the first one out. Doesn't see the second one. Oh, now have the information. Priestley, can you snap to him? No, the answer is not. Northwood able to clutch the round there yet again in what was a beautiful opening kills there from Bendy, where he was able to find 2. Immediately shut down, and Northwood gets the round back under control once again to tie the search and destroy at 3 apiece. St. Clair, they're grilling themselves for that one. That's a round that they should have had won. A 4-2 advantage. The largest they would have had this late into an S&D throughout the series. An opportunity to maybe get themselves to match point, to force that map number 8, to get a chance at a map 9. Falls apart, 3-3.
And as the viewer, I hope you can see and feel, as we were talking about, how each of these decisions are under a microscope at this point of the game. Search and destroy. Every decision matters. K-Top gonna open up with a wonderful tactical use. The Streak gonna come in and find two. What a dagger in this round. You at least want the information. A kill, great. 2 perfect, and, well, all 4 are going to be cleaned up by Northwood. I mean, a round that it felt like St. Clair stood 0 chance in.
And now you can feel the momentum shifting even further. Like the last round, you know, there was energy, there was intensity, everything was good, and then all of a sudden, they lose it after that first double kill, and everything falls into silence. The next round, Streak uses 12-4 from Dak. Silence from the side of St. Clair. The only thing that can save them now, obviously, would be a round win, sure, but you need to create some sort of momentum other than just a round win.
Bendy with the sniper out here in the mid to late game, trying to get a good kill. You're going to open up with the first blood from Seno, and if you can find anything behind
Ooh, yes! Yes, baby!
Snap out of Bendy to find that one. I mean, again, we are throwing haymakers within this search and destroy now, a 4v2. Favoring St. Clair.
The thorn in the side, but it doesn't matter. Bendy pulls out the sniper to counteract what Northwood had given them earlier in the game. And guess what, Cash? They walk away with a round win because of it. Seno opened things up there with the MP40. Bendy, he didn't fret when he was getting shot out from the outside of the statue by P1. Took his time, lined the shot up, was able to take him out in the process. And this is where the map can start to change around, because once you pull out a sniper, it eliminates some of the lanes that you're able to push, specifically when you're talking on the defensive side. I don't think we'll see it out here on offense. They're going to want to continuously get aggressive, but that was the boost of momentum that they needed. The change in pace that is going to allow them to tie things up. The deepest portion we've gotten into an S&D thus far, 8-5, the leader of Priestley on St. Clair. Dak, the man who's been carrying the torch here from Northwood all game long, and the first blood belongs to Northwood here inside of this round. Now make it a second as Big finds Seno. 2 versus 4, 1 minute left here to play.
And for St. Clair, you've been able to find a couple of these kills, but you have seldom, if maybe one time, in the search and destroy, found a way to walk away with these clutches. The Priestley 1v1 at the beginning, sure, but any 1v odd situations have just not gone your way. And now Northwood, a flawless round, map point, series point. You get a big round to bounce back, and as quickly as you do that, Northwood put themselves with the possibility to close out this entire series. So everything comes to a head here for St. Clair. You've stayed alive the longest you have in a search and destroy thus far. You've been executing fairly well on either side of things and finding really good kills around it, but it's all got to come to fruition and come to a head here. You have to put everything left on the core out here against this Northwood team, otherwise your run ends.
I was going to ask you, Cash, can you feel that? Northwood, the intensity that they're playing with, 1 round away from closing themselves out yet another national championship, this time in Call of Duty for the 3rd time this weekend. It would be oh so great for this university to be able to take away what would be just another notch up on the podium. First blood to Bink in the middle of the map. He's able to get out away with his life, but here comes a little bit of a flank from Priestley. Do they read it out? Now they understand where he is. Bomb's gonna go down over towards A. 3 players left from St. Clair. They have to kill 4 from Northwood and get that defused if they want a chance here in the round. Priestley forced all the way back. 6 HP, K-Tom on top of the bomb. And now as the time continues to dwindle down, Northwood still looking at an opportunity for a championship in front of them. St. Clair, no opportunities have come their way. Priestley will fall. The man of the hour dead. Brandon, the last one alive. 1 versus 4 would need the defuse as well. Jumps out of the window and no one is home. Northwood will be your 2022 NACE Starleague champions in Call of Duty.
And with flawless execution to finish that out. Another flawless round from them. There at the tail end, they weren't even dropping lives once they finally started responding back to the big round that Bendy had behind the sniper. Northwood, again, a team with so much fundamental knowledge and so much level-headedness that can carry them whenever things get dicey and things get mixy. As we saw even in the control or in the hard point at different times, whenever things started to get testy, they kept the level head, and then in the search and destroy, they start to get pushed to the limits by St. Clair further than they have this entire series. What do? Go back to what they do best, play as a team, all 4 players grouped up on that A site. They work the picks around it, and from there can close out that round and win themselves another and the final chip of the Vanguard season.
2 times throughout the entirety of the Vanguard season, have Northwood played in a grand final for a national championship at the collegiate level. The first one in the Collegiate Call of Duty League here in NACE. They'll go 2 for 2, different rosters albeit across the board, but they have found themselves another opportunity to put more money into that school, into that program, and into the faith of one another. Northwood this weekend, that is their 3rd championship they have been able to win.
And that settles it. Northwood University coming in with their 4th Grand Finals championship here at the NACE Starleague Grand Finals. And it was actually the closest series we've had the entire LAN event. Dak, what were your expectations going up against St. Clair?
Honestly, we were really good at Vanguard in the past, so I was expecting, a clean sweep like the rest of them, but they put up a good fight, and they've been scrimming, and we came out with a 5-2 dub.
Yeah, you came out with the first 2 maps. They were, I would say, summarily handled them quite easily in those first 2 maps, but then they came right back with 2 of their own. What were the thought processes that you had in between those maps, and what exactly did you notice the difference was with the Saints?
The difference between the first 2 maps and the next 2 is just simply we were outplaying ourselves. We weren't rotating correctly, we weren't filling the right lanes, we weren't taking the right routes, and then once we had that conversation with ourselves after the map 3 and the 4th, the control and everything and the HP, we were able to bounce back and able to regain.
Well, we also noticed that there was quite a bit of trash talking in between some of those rounds. Things were getting heated, but that's all kind of respect to each other because you know that's some serious competition, right?
Yeah, once the maps came back in their favor, we had to, push the heat up. They started shooting bodies, they started talking trash, and we had to bring it back.
And you definitely did. So this was actually a return to Vanguard after scrimming Modern Warfare 2. What's it like to get back into that Vanguard feel?
It was actually really weird because we haven't scrimmed the game at all since Vanguard or MW2 has dropped. And in that game, there's no red dots or anything of the sort, which makes it really difficult because the first couple maps, we weren't even looking at our mini-maps because usually we don't need to really at all except like for positioning and stuff. But that was the biggest difference, was mainly the red dots.
Because you just need the game sense at that point, right? You just feel it in your bones. Well, I mean, speaking of Modern Warfare 2, that's what we're playing in the next season, in the next semester. How confident are you guys feeling about that upcoming title?
We're feeling real confident. Same amount of confidence as we have in this tournament and the rest of Vanguard.
Well, sounds fantastic. I'm excited to see y'all perform in the next semester. But right now, we got to give it up for this squad. I believe it is my very great pleasure to give you the trophy, the NACE Starleague Fall Championship Trophy. Give it up for Northwood University, everybody. Everybody get your hands on that. Come on now. Congratulations to the squad. Certainly earned it, taking another victory here for Northwood University. How many are they going to get? They have one more chance to see if they could hit the perfect 5-0.